My name is Tim Weerdenburg and I'm a TOPdesk product manager. To be a product manager, I often interact with our customers and other organizations to find out their wishes and needs in the field of enterprise service management. Moreover, I often talk with our consultants who obviously provide a great source of information about our customers. And I like to do research in IT trends, which all helps to form a strategy on what would be the most valuable items for us to develop. And also, it might not surprise you that I work together with the development team that is developing our chat module. Well, enough about me. Let's continue with what you are here for, namely the webinar about TOPdesk Chat. And let's take a look at the program for that. First of all, we'll start with a brief examination of chat as a medium. We'll go over the advantages and the disadvantages of chat. Afterwards, I will move on to the chat solution that we offer. And to do so, I will give a presentation of the product in TOPdesk. Next up is an overview of our roadmap. Because we're still developing chat in this part, I will tell you what is still to come. And last but not least, I'll give you some practical information in case you're interested in chat. And yeah, maybe you would like to know more about it. You don't have to ride along with this webinar because we're actually recording it live right now. So afterwards, we'll send you an email with a link to the webinar so that you can rewatch it. That's all regarding the schedule, the agenda for today. Let's start by diving into the topic of why chat could be beneficial to your organization. First of all, it's good to realize that nowadays it will be a challenge to find someone who actually participates in society that has not used a chat solution. Apps such as Facebook, Teams, and Slack are becoming increasingly popular to communicate with each other. And probably being able to multitask via a chat solution is one of the reasons why. I can imagine, I know for sure that it's quite annoying to have to call to a service desk and be stuck on your phone for, let's say, 10, 15 minutes on hold. I don't know about you, but this still happens too often in the Netherlands. And it's distracting because you're with your phone and basically you cannot do anything else. Using a chat solution might not directly solve waiting periods during an interaction, but it actually does allow your end users to continue with their work without having to listen to some music on the phone. And this offers them a possibility to interact with the service desk whenever it's mostly convenient for them. Second, chat is an effective medium to use for a conversation, and especially in a work-related environment. Within IT, complex information sometimes needs to be communicated, which can be difficult to do one-on-one or in a phone call. Think of serial numbers or maybe a document which explains how to set up a certain device. Transferring that via phone can be quite a hassle. There can also be other factors that influence the efficiency of conversations, and especially, again, in the case of phone calls, such examples can be an accent or maybe a bad phone line. It can be quite annoying as an end user to not understand what a service desk employee tries to communicate. Because you want to help your end users straight away, it can be convenient to add or attach information, such as those serial numbers or maybe a file, and be sure that you understand each other. And of course, chat is no magical solution to solve all issues that come with communication. But for some, it simply provides or proves to be more effective and more preferred than other ways of communicating. And obviously, when you offer this in itself adds to the service excellence experience of your end users. Previously mentioned topics mostly cover the satisfaction rate of your end users and their preferences, but we shouldn't ignore the effect that chat has on agents. Research has shown that agents can have up to 6 conversations at the same time using a chat solution, and especially compared to a phone call, in which you, well, hopefully only respond to one conversation at a time. This simply adds to your agent's efficiency. And obviously, having shorter response times doesn't impact just your agents, but it also adds to the end user experience again. So as you heard, there can be quite some benefits when using a chat medium to interact with your customers. But one-on-one conversations via chat are obviously a lot less efficient than empowering them to help themselves via self-service portal. So that's also why I often heard or got feedback from customers saying, we actually just implemented a self-service portal, and why would we want to go, let's say, back to offering one-on-one contact between users and agents, and also in quite a reactive way. Well, and these end users actually can help themselves via the self-service portal, or in situations that you would like them to help themselves. If they are able to do that, then chat definitely decreases the power of your self-service portal. After all, chat will always require time and attention from your agent. And if someone can help him or herself, this will be a lot more effective. So for those situations, self-service portal is always preferred. But what I've also heard from customers is that end users can be in situations in which information or an action on the self-service portal is not sufficient to be of help. Think about a situation in which you want to start a presentation, for example, and your laptop screen doesn't show on the monitor. Well, this happened to me quite a bit, unfortunately. And in those cases, you just want someone to come help you out. You're not gonna register an incident and wait for that to be picked up. Someone needs to come and fix the issue. And in those kind of situations, you would want to have one-on-one contact with someone to help you out. In such cases, it can be interesting to look at the pros and cons of adding other forms of communications to the channels that you already offer. And since this year, we offer a chat module that is integrated into TOPdesk. Currently, this chat module is only available via TOPdesk Labs, as we're still busy improving the basics of the product, but we do expect to take chat out of labs around a couple of months, probably February 2020, but I'll tell you more about that later in this webinar. Going back to the solution that we offer, as I already said, it's fully integrated into TOPdesk. So this means that operators do not have to switch between applications to chat with end users, and calls can be made straight away into TOPdesk from a conversation with the relevant information included. What might be interesting to know is that the chat bubble that is offered to your end users, so the little screen in which they can start a conversation, can be integrated into any website. So it doesn't have to be published on the self-service portal. You can put it anywhere. This means that you can support, for example, a group of people like, let's say commercial clients that could have questions about your products or services. Well, I can tell a whole lot more about the module, of course, but I think it's more fun and better to look at it, see how it reacts, how it works. So let's continue with the demonstration of chat. Let me get a TOPdesk environment in a browser, and you should be able to see that now. What I'll do is I log into the operator section of TOPdesk to show chat there. So I log in as Dawn, and later I'll get the end user section as well. First, I want to activate it. So what I'll do is I'll go to settings. There we go. And you'll see a button appear called chat under functional settings. There we want to make sure that the built-in chat is selected. Then we also want to publish it on the self-service portal. So we go to the settings there and we select the functionality that persons can chat with operators. If you have done these 2 steps, chat is activated and the bubble will actually show on the self-service portal. As a consequence, you'll see a chat icon on the right top side of your TOPdesk, which means that chat is actually active. So let's see how that works. I'll get another browser window to show you the end user side of things and actually simulate a conversation here. So what I'll do is I'll log in as Dean, and Dean is our caller. He has a problem. And I have a problem, well, the situation that I just mentioned. So my laptop won't show on the screen. So I'll start a chat. Hi, I'm in room Phoenix. And the screen of my laptop won't show on the monitor. Can you please help me? And in the operator section of TOPdesk on the left, we see that we have a new chat coming in. You see a notification with one chat, we click on it, and then the chat module of TOPdesk opens. The module has various sections. On the left, we see all chats that have come in, so chats that are waited to be picked up. In this case, the conversation from Dean. In the middle, we see the actual conversation, so this is the message that he wrote. And on the right side, we see the details of our caller. So we see where he works, we see what site he's actually visiting right now, and we see some information about his language. So what I'll do is I'll pick up the chat to start interacting with him and send a message back. We'll be there in 1 minute. You see that Dean sees that Dawn is typing and that he has joined the chat, of course. So I'll write back, thanks. Now let's just hope that he comes quickly. The operator can close a chat, and from that chat, he can create a call. So when I do that, there we go. It just opens in TOPdesk next to it. We see that the transcript of the chat has been added automatically to the incident, and that the entry has been filled in automatically, as well as the caller details. So I also could have sent a message to Dean that I would create an incident for him. He can check that in the self-service portal, of course. And then when I have an update about it, he will see it there. Yeah, I hope this is clear to you all. I don't think I have to explain too much about having a chat conversation, but this shows the basic functionalities that we have added to the chat module as of now. Let's go back to some more information about the module. The functionality that we just saw can be used via TOPdesk Labs, and TOPdesk Labs is available for all TOPdesk SaaS customers. You might not be familiar with Labs. If not, this is, let's say, a section in TOPdesk where we offer functionalities that are still in development and that we like to receive feedback about. In case you still use TOPdesk on premises, you need to wait for a little bit longer before the product is available to you. And we expect to release chat in the virtual appliance in the first quarter of 2020. So that is the version for all on-premises, so that they can use the new chat service. And in case you're not familiar with the virtual appliance, I would advise you to watch a webinar that we did some time ago on the virtual appliance and what that means for you as an on-premises customer. As already mentioned, you can use chat in Labs until February 2020. And in case you want to keep using chat after that time, and this also applies for the on-premises customers, then please contact your account manager so that you can add the chat module to your TOPdesk subscription. And because the module is plug and play, you don't need any consultancy, but you can simply activate it and start as we just saw in the demonstration. Going back to the roadmap, you might have noticed one more functionality, and that is queues. Well, queues are basically operator groups that can be defined by the TOPdesk application manager. For example, think of a division between the first and the second line, maybe IT, HR, and facilities, or perhaps you provide support with various languages such as English and Spanish. Well, in those cases, you can create queues for those particular groups and offer them to your end users. And the advantage of having queues is that chats can be picked up by the group that should be dealing with that chat, instead of having the chat be picked up by someone who actually cannot help that person. So once again, this improves the efficiency of how chats are dealt with. We expect to offer this functionality in the first quarter of 2020. Let me see, I don't think I skipped any of the items on the roadmap. So I say let's continue with the webinar. I already told you at the start to give you some practical advice in case you wanted to know more about chat. We'll send you the link with the webinar so you can rewatch that. And you can also go to page.topdesk.com/chat to find more information on the solution. There's a small video there, there's an infographic and a white paper on the solution with the functionalities. You can all download it over there. And what's also good to mention is what we have just discussed in this webinar regards the live chat functionality of TOPdesk. And I can imagine that some of you might also be interested in taking a next step in the form of chatbots. In case you're interested in that topic, please go to page.topdesk.com/webinars. And there you can subscribe to the upcoming webinar about chatbots. So that could be interesting as well. I think we've covered most of the topics for today. So we saw what the advantages of chat are for your organization. You might think of some other advantages or disadvantages. Well, it's always interesting to list them and see how would it actually influence my end users' experience of the services that we provide. Then we saw a demonstration. I showed it to you, but especially as a TOPdesk SaaS user, you can also try it out yourself in TOPdesk Labs. And finally, we saw the roadmap. There's still some things to come, so you can expect those in the coming months. That's all for today. Would like to thank you very much for watching this webinar about TOPdesk Chat. I hope that your questions were answered and that this webinar has encouraged you to think about benefits and maybe pitfalls of chat for your organization. I hope you will, well, enjoy the rest of your days.